What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 9th day of September, and here we are. Bitcoin's moving up a little bit, man. 112, we're almost back above 113K there. Might make a run, we'll see here. And again, guys, if we get above these areas, if we start closing above like 113.5K on a daily basis, we really do stand a chance of proving me wrong, validating this low and moving up higher. It takes us getting up above 116.9K, 117K to validate that / invalidate me. But I think we're right at this pinnacle moment where we are about to move down again, personally, right? The movement downs are stronger, the movements up are weaker, right? They take longer. And anyways, Bitcoin there. Let's talk about OnyxCoin, okay? Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Let me make sure that I got this right. There we go. Okay, that should be good. All right, OnyxCoin, 1.07 cents right now on a weekly time frame. We're actually up 3%, which is nice to see. I just have a hard time imagining that we found the low already. Just because I have a hard time imagining that doesn't mean it can't be true. It very well could be true. You know, we do have this kind of solid body down here with a doji candle. Might we come back up by the end of this week and come up? I'll tell you what, guys, if we can get to 1.24 cents by the end of this week and close there or higher, I'd be bullish. I would be bullish on OnyxCoin, but that's what it would take, man. If we move up and we come back down, I mean, most of this week is a wick, right? We've got most of it is a wick, and we did say a few days ago, you know, with right before this day and then even afterwards, be aware of these fake miracle pumps that happen, right? Don't get too excited if they come. These are weaker than I would have anticipated even, right? It's very possible we still could get something that takes you all the way up to 1.2 cents over the next day or two. Just because we get to 1.2 cents, 1.24 cents doesn't mean that we're bullish. We have to close the week there. If we move up there, you know, by Thursday and then we move back down by Sunday, that's not bullish. That's actually bearish. It's not a good thing at all. Looking at the daily time frame here, looking at the RSI, I have to admit, it's nice. It's nice seeing this double bottom bouncing off the oversold zone. I like that we're above the 40. Can we persist? We're in good environments now. Well, not really, but we have the capabilities to get out of the bad environments. Can we do so? Or are we going to find resistance here like we had before? Like we had before right here. Like we had all these times before. We are in these areas where we like to find support. And clearly, OnyxCoin, whenever it gets overbought, it gets deeper in the overbought zone than it does in the oversold zone. But the last 3 times now, we've lingered in the oversold zone a lot more than we have the overbought zone. We've lived below the 50 a lot more than we've lived above the 50. Clearly, more bearish environment. That doesn't mean that we're in the depths. That doesn't mean that we're dead in the water. I believe so much in OnyxCoin, you guys. It's my biggest bag for a reason. I think this thing is going to blow a lot of expectations out of the water. But if we're looking at this here, I say but I don't mean but as if I'm going to contest that. I just mean if we're looking at this here again, talking about the shift in the consolidation phases. It's a clear shift here. We're clearly, the bearish momentum, the selling pressure is going away. It's dissipating, right? All the sellers have sold. Now, anybody who's sold since here might just be people who are discouraged, right? The real weak hands. You were patient for so long, but this was the final kick in the pants. You had it, and just every step of the way, there's a new level for people to panic sell. But the reality is, we're still in the level of the rising sun, if you guys remember that. Right in the level of the rising sun. We're hitting our Justin Sun altars every day, praying on both knees, saying, Justin Sun, please pump our bags. I don't know if anybody believes in that still. I think Justin Sun's more of a enemy to the Onyx system, Onyx ecosystem than a friend, but you never know. You never know, man. I actually have a buddy, shout out to Jay Aggies, who he claims, and you know, I haven't seen it myself, but I trust him. He does his research. He claims that Justin Sun, he's seen Justin Sun's wallet, and he's actually distributing and selling off throughout this whole time here. So long-term selling phase. Maybe the Onyx style is aware of this. Maybe they're aware, and they don't want to pump the coin up. They don't want to have any kind of incentive for the coin to go up, and Justin Sun makes more money, right? Because they had a little bit of a spat over here. It was looking like he was going to partner. I thought that he was going to partner with them and like have HTX or who is it, HTX Global, whatever, also come online with OnyxCoin, but I don't know if that's happening anymore. I don't know. They had a little bit of a spat back here on X. He took it. Justin Sun made accusations and took it down like within the same hour. I've got screenshots of it, but I'm not going to post it here. Just basically accusing XCN of manipulating its market, which maybe it had, maybe it did, maybe it wasn't. I don't know, like manipulated trading or whatever. But how many coins have done that this cycle, right? There's so many of them that have done that this cycle. If you see any coin pumping dramatically and they have over 100% volume compared to what their market cap is, that's probably manipulated efforts, right? You've got people buying and selling and buying and selling and kind of manipulating the price up that way. But clearly it was good manipulation. If it was bad manipulation, we would have gotten a pump and a dump here, right? Some people hear that and they're like, oh, it's manipulation. Everything's manipulated, man. The dollar's manipulated. You still use it to buy your groceries. You know what I mean? Like there's good manipulation and bad manipulation. 1.08 cents now. 10 hours, 10 minutes left in the day. Looking at this here, getting away from all the shenanigans. I would say we're still in a bearish posturing. I don't think that we're going to find support here. Any move up from here will probably get eaten back into. I very much do expect that we go lower. So where are we going to go? We look at this relative low here to this relative high. The expectation there, to me, would be that we go down to 0.009. Could we go a little bit lower? Sure, but something in this area. Something in the land of the rising sun, something around our last support zone. Wouldn't it be perfect if we found a double bottom? Wouldn't it be perfect if we found support right above or right at our prior resistance points here? So we see it's just a slightly lower low. If we find a low, when we find a low, I should say, we're looking for this kind of reaction, right? Doesn't have to be immediate, but some kind of wick to the downside would be nice, right? OnyxCoin is pretty friendly with giving us decisive lows. It's very friendly with that. Doesn't mean it has to be, right? Sometimes we're kind of slow to the start. It happens, but we do have a lot of gaps along the way down here. Okay, remember, as far as Coinbase is concerned, in my opinion, most of the time whenever we see gaps, not most of the time, like 99%, like almost always, we see those gaps fill. And we have gaps all the way up at 2.2 cents, you guys. 2.2 cents being all the way up here. Okay, we're at 1.08 cents now. We have gaps going all the way up back here, okay, that we haven't filled on the 1 hour time frame. And those gaps always get filled, okay? We're going to come back up, and once we come back up here, at that point, just again, thinking about the perspective shift. I talk about this with a few different coins, but think about it here, right? We're looking at this coin as it is right now. Same kind of perspective back here. Discouraged, despair, the trolls come out to play. They're laughing at anybody who's investing in OnyxCoin. They're trying to convince you to sell because it's a scam, whatever. But they have no sustenance. They have no sustenance at all. You look into OnyxCoin at all, it doesn't take anybody with half a brain to see that it's not a scam. It's a solid project, and they've actually been developing more than I think. Like, I can't think of another crypto that's developing more stuff, right? Like, it's pretty cool, all the developments that have taken place from this low to here, let alone from the prior low to there. Like, they are really doing a good job. Like, bravo, Onyx DAO, Chain, good job. I think you guys are doing pretty well. You're making a lot of stuff. I can't wait to see what else you come up with, right? Goliath Network's coming out. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff going on that is it's going to allow this coin, this project, to implement itself for financial institutions to on-ramp into crypto if they choose to use this ecosystem. Does that mean that they will? Does that mean that OnyxCoin will succeed in its mission and its goal? No. You can have a good mission, you can have a good goal, and people still might not use you. There's a coin called Credits. You guys ever heard of Credits? They were partnered with IBM. You ever heard of Credits? They were partnered with IBM. They had the fastest transactions known to man ever in history. They had like 1 million transactions per second back in 2018. You ever heard of Credits? No, nobody heard of Credits, right? Because they had like 30 partnerships a year that they were announcing. Anybody heard of Credits? No, because even though they had the right goals, the right developments, the right work, they did really well as far as like effort went. They didn't do well as far as growth went in the price, right? Nobody's ever heard of them before. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with OnyxCoin. We're on a whole different route here. You know, we sold off dramatically in the early aspects of this thing's life, and we've come back dramatically as well. And I stand by it. The charts speak for themselves. As fast as we moved down, we moved up even faster, and we're probably going to see this thing rip through the roof. I'm actually curious. We've done this before. How long did it take to move down from the high to the low? 72 weeks. And then whenever you really got moving, let's say it was here. How many weeks has it been? It's been 45 weeks, yeah. I mean, you've got your low over here. It's been 100 weeks, but I wouldn't say you're moving up, right? It's like I didn't say this was part of you moving down over here. It was from the top. Well, but this in all fairness, this was the moment that you started moving down, right? From the top. The low wasn't really the moment that you started moving up. I would say this was probably the moment that you started moving up, right? You're consolidating. One could argue that it's even here, but we get up above these highs, which I think we will by the end of October, or by the end of the year even. we will have moved up a lot faster than we moved down, right? That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, time will tell. I think the charts will speak for themselves. I got nothing else for you guys, really. I do expect that we go lower. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? And yeah, I got nothing else, man. Take care. I do want to look at the ribbons again, I guess. Let's look at these real quick. There we go, weekly ribbon. So this is actually a really nice look. Again, running back to the idea that at 2.2 cents we have gaps there. And we don't have them on this chart, but we have them on the Coinbase chart. This contraction here below the ribbon, what we're looking for is a move. Anytime we close above the ribbon, which is at the yellow line, that's at about 1.37 cents. We close above there, it should be go time. We should be seeing a very, I mean, last time we were below the ribbon and we came up, look at how absolutely massive of a move that was in 1 week's time. We moved up 121% just from open to close, let alone from low to high. We're definitely in a similar situation here. Very bullish weekly ribbon right here, okay? As long as it doesn't cross down. If it crosses down, we're in a bit of trouble. Daily ribbon's a little bit more bearish. We are at a point where you'd expect to find resistance. It's fanning out, but we should be, typically whenever you get this expansion, you do continue to go lower, right? We didn't really have any signals here that we were ready to move up. Here you can kind of see we started to flirt with the ribbon. We went above it. The ribbon maintained its bearish posturing, but we flirted with it a little bit. And then inevitably, the more you flirt with it, the more that you kind of thin this out, the easier it is to move up. And then once you moved up, you started finding support at it. Look at how bullish of a reaction that is. That's what we're looking for over the coming days and weeks, right? Something that's like that. I would expect that we keep moving down going into the FOMC meeting on the 16th, 17th, and then after that, we should be moving up. Really, though, once we get above about 1.3 cents, 1.34 cents on the weekly time frame, that's when I think it's time to start getting excited. That would take us right above these lows here as well. 3-day ribbon freshly crossed, but this ribbon I feel like it's not that helpful most of the time that I've noticed. What about the monthly? I don't think we have the monthly. I don't think it's been 55 months yet. Yeah. Below the ribbon here, bearishly postured overall, but to be fair, we kind of started off very bearish. So let's see how it goes. That might be why we're finding resistance, you guys, honestly. Like we're living in this monthly ribbon here. I wouldn't call this a rejection. We're finding turbulence, but this is actually not a bad, really this is not a bad look at all on the monthly ribbon. Right? If we rejected it, that's one thing, but we're kind of living. We're having a hard time rejecting this. We are below it now, in all fairness. But getting back above that like 2.5 cent area will be instrumental in sending this thing through the roof. And if we can cross this by the end of the cycle to the upside, that could be a really good signal for OnyxCoin throughout its life to promote the idea of longevity in its existence, right? Because if we get all the way up here at like $2, $1, something in this area here, even if we're coming down like this, the ribbon will still cross up, and then maybe we find support down at about 20 cents or 15 cents in the bear market, and then next cycle we start to come up. That'd be a really nice look if the ribbon could cross. But we're talking about like stuff that's years away probably. The cross might happen in 2026, but the bear market being over and then the next bull market, that's years away. So I got nothing else, man. I'm rambling at this point. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.